welcome back to my channel. As some of you by now probably already know, I've been back at training for a little bit. I usually do this every year. Of what I'm doing in the first couple of weeks of training, what I'm getting used to and getting back into, because it's always tough after a break. And I also asked you some questions on Instagram, so I'm gonna try and answer some of those questions in the middle of the week of training and when I get to it. But yeah, here's what I start my day doing. Oh! That went everywhere. So now with my recovery set and ready to go, I'll get a little bit more onto recovery in a little bit, because in the first couple of weeks of training, recovery is literally the most important thing, or else you're just gonna spend the whole time being even more sore than you already would be by starting training for the first time in ages. Right, now it's time to chuck that in my bag and head out the door. Game that we just played, I didn't actually record because I'm an idiot, but this game we got cards, so if you get a club or a diamond or a heart or a spade, you have a different exercise, and the number of the card that you turn over is the amount of reps that you do. We're in 2 teams, and whoever has the most cards at the end wins, if that makes any sense at all. You're just gonna see us run around like lunatics and do exercises basically. We count the cards. So these are the exercises that we did. So if you got spade, the number was how many alternating lunges we did. Got clubs, it was how many part 1 and 2 of Turkish get up we did. Diamonds, number, plank taps, hearts, partner sit-up throws, and then joker's a free card. So you just get a free go. Oh, anyway, we're counting them up. Brittany is counting them up.
26 to 28.
Yeah!
Yay! 6, 28, that's actually really good, guys.
How you feeling, hun?
I'm absolutely fuming.
Not sour at all.
Not sour?
No, mate.
You're about sour as a toxic waste. So after a couple of circuits in the gym of the rounds of that game, we aren't actually able to get into the pool at the aquatic centre because they've got the World Para Swimming Championships going on. So we are headed over to Waltham Forest to go and train there. So I'm going to go jump in the cab and get in the water for the very first time this season, which I'm a little bit scared about, but it's going to be fine. But in between times, recovery. Again, I'm going to talk about recovery a little bit later, but it's the most important thing when you come into the season is to recover, because if you don't recover, you're gonna be sore and horrible. Time to head to the pool. Right, while we're in the car, sort of answer some of the questions from Instagram that I said about earlier. Noah's in the back. And this one is from Bell_Lynch, who says, would love to know more about how you train synchro and the process of a synchro dive. And funny enough, I'm sat next to my synchro partner.
I like that. Luckily we're about the same height. I'm just a little taller. That's 2 things that are quite important, not necessarily a necessity. No, what's the word?
Necessity, or not necessarily essential.
Yeah, because like Tom and Dan were like different, and they still made it work. So our height and weight are the same, and basically it's just many hours practicing taking off together. And if you take off together, then you're pretty much going to land together. And luckily our spin speeds are the same, so it's actually not that confusing
once you get used to it.
Yeah, and difficult. Like as long as you take off, you should land at the same time.
Yeah. So that's pretty much how we train synchro. Isn't that right, Tyler? So we made it to the Feel Good Centre in Waltham Forest, and this pool is quite a small pool. It only has a 1 metre and a 3 metre, but it was in close proximity to where we were doing dry land. I don't know how good I'm going to feel once I've finished this training session, but let's do it. finished a little mini circuit. Oh, the hair's on fleek. But yeah, as you can see, this is a little pool. It's got a couple of 1 meters, one 3 meter springboard, one very skinny 3 meter platform. But it's definitely like not a very high quality session, let me tell you that. But you know, it feels good to be back in the pool, spinning around, upside down, all that kind of stuff. I feel like I could sleep for about 6 years now though. I've got my hood up because I'm protecting my ears because I've been in the water and I don't want all the winds blow in. But earlier I was saying about recovery, and now I'm going to talk about my recovery because I'm eating my macro munch, which is like the best one to have. I've got like a salted caramel, basically like a chocolate bar, but it's a protein bar. Shawbreaker K has asked me how to avoid fatigue. Now there's lots of different ways that you can avoid fatigue when you go into a training competition or training and getting into competitions or whatever it is. Obviously nutrition is one big part of that, and making sure you get enough sleep, but making sure that you load your body appropriately depending on what training session you've got in terms of carbohydrates and protein. But to avoid fatigue over a long-term scale so that you're not actually tired for example for my training tomorrow, so I'm not tired, recovery is important. Oh! It's flying away, it's flying. Come back, come back. Oh, I got it, I caught it. Recovery is important, hence why I'm eating my protein bar now. So to get the best recovery that you can, it starts with within 20 minutes, max 40, of finishing your training session, getting 20 grams of protein in 2020. We're going into Tokyo 2020 and we're gonna have 20 grams of protein within 20 minutes. And that gives your body the best chance of recovering, because during a workout, your muscles, the proteins in your muscles are breaking down, and you're having like small micro tears or like microfibers are breaking down while you're working your muscles out. And in order for them to repair and regrow, you need to have not photosynthesis, what I'm talking about. You need protein synthesis, which is where your muscles grow and they repair and they go back to where they were normally. So in order to do that, you need to give your body protein, because if you don't give your body protein, it's going to use the protein that's already there, so it's going to break down the muscle fibers, and then you're going to be really sore, and it's just going to be a painful thing. So to avoid some of the soreness, you're still going to be sore no matter what because you're working hard, but to avoid some of the soreness and help recover quickly, having those 20 grams of protein is essential. And now there's lots of different things that I would recommend. For me, I always use bulk powders. Their stuff is great, they've got so many great flavors, and for elite athletes they have an Informed Sport range, which is, if you're on like a drug testing scale, Informed Sport is the way to go to make sure that everything has been batch tested, etc. But yeah, so making sure that you get those protein recovery hits in is step one of being well recovered. Oh, so back today with another training session. Just finished some of the gym work. A little bit of a circuit, nothing too crazy, but it got me sweating. Here's what I did. Don't quite know what's next. I think we've got a little bit of a mini core session, so I'm gonna go and get my core on. So now after our little gym session, time for some lunch, and me and Matty seem to always go to the same place. And I've got a create your own salad, and my salad has got lettuce, super grains, broccoli, chicken, egg, sweet corn, hummus, cashews, and chili avocado dressing. What about you?
Mine's the Italian. Lettuce, chicken, some other nice stuff. Basically it's amazing. Olives.
And pesto. This is where we are between every training session. Eating our greens. Well, that's a bit spicy that. I'm a few days into my training. It's been a bit of a wake-up call, but you know, that's all good. That's why we get back to training. So I thought, while I'm having my second half of my breakfast, I've got some porridge right here. Already had some eggs this morning, but I'm gonna have some porridge as well because I need the carbohydrates. So, I'm gonna answer some of your questions. Rosie I don't know how you say that, I'm sorry, but has asked, how many hours do you train a week? And now that really does depend on what time of the season, all that kind of stuff. But at the moment, I'm easing into training, so I'm doing about 4 hours a day, 6 days a week on average. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24 hours a week, roughly, of training. You know, that's now at the moment, it's like cardio and lots of yoga and gyrotonics and things like that, just to kind of get the body moving and waking back up again. But it can be more than that, and it can be a little bit less than that, depending on what time of the season it is. Now, talking of different types of training for season, Richard Warner Photography said, how different is it to your training during the diving season? As you can tell by the first part of this video, the training is a lot of fun. It's about getting moving, getting back into it for the first couple of weeks, a lot of strength work and lots of endurance work. And in the next few weeks coming after this first week back, it's gonna get more intense in the gym because this is where we get the base of all of our strength work for the whole year. So it's really, really rough in the gym and slightly easier in the pool. Whereas in the main type of the season, it's a lot of quick and explosive and making sure everything's fast and moving, but the pool sessions are harder because we do more 10-meter stuff. So that's the main difference. Then Bridget Pawsey says, any training camps coming up? And yes, we do have a couple of training camps coming up. The first one is going to be the first 2 weeks of October. I'm going to be in Turkey. So that's going to be, again, a pre-season training camp. So lots of cardio, lots of intense gym work and slightly easier pool sessions. And of course, I'm going to vlog it, so don't worry. And Robbie's coming with me. So it'll be the first training camp that he's come with me to, which I'm really excited about. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Jinying_Kong has asked, hi Tom, how do you make sure you get enough sleep and recover well for the next training day? Now, sleep can be like a really difficult thing. Some people really sleep well and some people don't, and some people find it difficult. I find it quite easy to sleep because I do work out quite a lot, but I would say if you do struggle with sleeping, try not to have caffeine after 2 p.m. because that can never help. And then a couple of hours before you go to bed, turn off all your screens, turn off all your devices, don't watch TV, don't look at your phone, and just try and wind down. And then if that doesn't work, making sure that your room is very much an environment for sleeping. Making sure that it's dark, making sure that it's cool, making sure that if you've got a few plants in your room, helps clean the air, so that sometimes can help you sleep better. And even some meditation and just some breathing exercises while you're laying in bed can help you sleep, or at least get to sleep a little bit quicker. So after those questions, I'm going to take it back to the gym where Jane decided, my coach, decided that it would be fun to learn a dance routine, dance-off situation. Here's what we were meant to do.
And 1, 2, 3, and 4, bring it in, then bring it on low. 1, 2, and a 3, and a 4, drive it 5, 6, and a 7. I'm having so much fun.
And this is how we were learning it.
1, 2, cross it, 3, and give me right, then roll it on town.
And then it came down to the competition in teams.
Yes. Rack city. 10, 20s on your VIP, no test list. TT's all young, no we.
And of course, me and Noah absolutely smashed it.
I like that.
Baby Shark for the win. after that little stairs workout, time to get in the pool and we're gonna do some poolside stuff and getting back to basics. So the workouts don't tend to just stay at the pool. Bring them home too, because I've got a new Peloton toy, and I'm kind of cheating at the moment because Lance has taken the weights and it's doing the arms, and I'm not.
No. Look at these bad boys. Oh yeah.
Big 3 kilos. I'm gonna get back to this workout, but I am literally sweating like a pig. I'm gonna get back to it. Now I'm off that bike. I mean, I'm sweating. I don't know if you can actually tell. I am dripping. Nice little workout. I mean, Robbie's in bed and he's been asleep and we've just been upstairs and doing a little workout, you know, squeeze it in when you can. I thought I would talk through some of the things that I've been doing, especially this week, getting back to training to be able to stay on top of my recovery. As you know by now, I am Team Bulk because, you know, their stuff's great. The things I use on a day-to-day basis to be able to stay as recovered as I possibly can be and stay healthy and stay fit and be able to get the most out of my training. Well, one, I'll start off with something I have every day after every training session is the Informed Whey. The current flavour that I'm on at the minute is chocolate hazelnut biscuit. So it kind of tastes like Nutella, which is in a protein shake is pretty damn good. And to that, each day I add some creatine, because the creatine is good for energy and it's good for also for recovery, making sure that you get your most out of your training sessions. Also bulk powders. On other training sessions, I've got my macro munch. My favourite is the Millionaire Shortbread, the Magnificent Millionaire Shortbread macro munch, because that is the best one. I also have, for overnight recovery, Informed Casein. So the casein is a slower release protein that I take at night, and I usually just make it into a hot chocolate. So I have like a little treat when I'm sat watching TV at night with Lance. We sit there with our little casein hot chocolates and jobs are good. And then if I'm feeling particularly sore, normally in season, I have some of this stuff, which is the tart cherry extract. So it has tons of antioxidants in it so that it's able to like really help your body recover nicely. It's completely blown out because it's trying to focus on my face, but if I do that, maybe it'll, there you go. Hey, those are my top things that I would definitely encourage you to go out and get to make sure that you're recovered if you're an athlete. I'm just doing the closing bit, is that okay?
No, don't film me when you just made me do what you just made me do.
I didn't make you do anything.
Olympic years are hard for you, but they're really hard on the spouses. We feel the pressure to keep up, because otherwise you'll have 12 abs by January and I'll have the same 1 ab. But if I do try to keep up with you, if we do try to keep up with Olympians, what happens? Our faces look like tomatoes. My face looks like a tomato that's been boiled and is about to burst.
It's been a long week getting back to training and I didn't even get to show you half of it. Like, you saw some of the fun bits, some of the hard bits, and it's all gonna be starting again next week. So I'm sat here with my casein hot chocolate and we are...
Wait, what bits did you show? What bits? The fun bits and the hard bits?
Not those hard bits.
Oh, wow, I didn't know you were showing all that. What kind of video are you making? The fun bits, the hard bits, all out on display. Great, fantastic.
So I'm gonna have my hot chocolate and watch Bake Off Extra Slice. I hope you enjoyed the video, a little insight into my training, and I'll see you next time. Make sure you subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, like, comment, all that kind of stuff. And if you want to get involved in any of the products that I mentioned, they'll all be in the description below. Peace out.